when measuring a Seconline hinge door, you must measure with a view of being on the outside, looking in. This is very important so we can establish what side you want the handle of your door. Because we'll take this door for example. This door is a left-hand handle. But if you're on the inside, measuring, it's a right-hand handle. When you're measuring, be very accurate. Measure several times. Give it to us to the nearest millimetre. It's absolutely crucial. We don't recommend bending your tape, like a lot of people do, because we don't find this to be very accurate. What we recommend is using the lock on your tape and locking it off and adding the block back, which you'll find the measurements on the side of most tapes. Again, double check your measurements. A tip is to have someone else write it down for you while you measure. Our door frames are an industry standard 20 mils, which means you need a rebate of at least 20 mils thick. It can be bigger, but it can't be smaller. This rebate provides a stop for the new door and must be at least 35 millimetres away from the existing door so as to allow room for the internal door handles. That's if the internal door doesn't have a handle. If it does have a handle, you need to be outside that handle. If you don't have a rebated stop, then you will need to have one created. This can be easily done with timber or a plastic bead. When you're measuring your lengths, first you measure the left-hand side of your door. Then you measure the right-hand side. It is not uncommon to find a difference of a couple of mils, maybe even 5 or 6, but whichever it is, take your shortest measurement and deduct 8 mils and give that to us for both sides. With the difference, don't be worried about a gap. What you can get in our accessory section is a bug hair. It goes at the bottom of your door to cover all your gaps and not let any of those pesky bugs or ants or flies in. When you're measuring the widths, again, make sure you are being very accurate. Measure several times so as to avoid errors. Start with your top, lock it off, write it down, then your middle, lock it off, write it down, then your bottom, lock it off, write it down. Now, these can be different, and it is quite common to find them different. If you want a single lock, you'll take off 8 mils deduction off each of those measurements. If you want a triple lock, you'll take off 9 mil deductions off each of those measurements. And give us those measurements, because we can make the door in an hourglass shape, which might fit your door better. When you're measuring a lock, again, on the outside looking in, make sure your existing door is closed. Put your tape on the ground. Then decide whether you want your handle above or below. If you want it below, measure the bottom of the internal lock. Take off 60 mils. If you want it above, go to the top of your lock, land on 120 mils. If, however, you already have a hole cut out in your rebate, and you want to match that up because you know that it already works, you've had an existing door there in the past, then put your tape on the deck, measure up, and give us the measurement to the very centre of the hole. And we'll give you a handle at that height and it'll measure up perfectly. Good luck with your measurements. Remember that we will make finished sizes, so it's important to make your deductions and to get your measurements right. Remeasure several times. Remember, supply measurements in millimetres only, and with all your deductions considered. Good luck and happy measuring.